In the last step, we created our Spring project. In this step, let's focus on getting started with GameRunner and being able to run our games. We are going to start the iteration 1, where we will be building a tightly coupled GameRunner class and the game classes, Mario, Super Contra, and Pac-Man. Let's start with creating GameRunner and the Mario classes. So what I would do is I would go to my IDE Eclipse and go into the source main Java folder. Over here, you should see a package called com in 28 minutes Spring Learn Spring Framework. Inside that, you should see Learn Spring Framework application.java. You can open this up. For now, let's not really worry about all the code which is present in here. You would see an annotation called Spring Boot application, and you should see some specific code in here. Don't worry about them for now. Let's focus on the GameRunner and the game classes. What we want to be able to do is to create a Mario game. So I'll say Mario game. Game is equal to new Mario game. So we want to be able to create a Mario game, and to run this Mario game, we would need a GameRunner, right? So for that, what we'll do is we'll also create a GameRunner class. I'll call this GameRunner. Runner is equal to new GameRunner class. What does the GameRunner run? It needs to run the Mario game. So what I would do is pass the Mario game, the game we want to run, as a constructor argument to the GameRunner class. And the GameRunner class can call runner.run to run the Mario game. So we will create a game, we will pass it to the GameRunner, and the GameRunner will be able to run the game for us. Now, you'd see that there are a lot of compilation errors in here. That's expected. So let's go ahead and fix them. If you do a control 1 or command 1, you should be able to go ahead and create a class called Mario Game. So I'll say create class Mario Game. And most importantly, I would choose a package called .game in here. So com in 28 minutes, Spring Learn Spring Framework .game. That's the package where I'm creating the Mario Game class. So let's say finish in here. Make sure that you are creating the Mario game and everything in a sub package of the class where we are writing this code in. You can see that this package over here is com in 28 minutes Spring Learn Spring Framework. And I'm creating Mario game in com in 28 minutes Spring.Learn Spring Framework .game. So it's a sub package of the package where this application class is in. Now, let's shift our attention now to the GameRunner class. We see that there is another compilation error. GameRunner class does not exist. Command 1 or control 1 and say create class GameRunner. Over here, you can see the magic of the Eclipse IDE. It is creating classes for us. We don't need to manually create everything that we need to write. So it's automatically populating the name of the class, and we can choose the package where we would want to create this. I'll choose the game package again. So we would want to create this also in the game package. And I would go ahead and say finish. So we have the GameRunner class created. However, there would still be one compilation error because the constructor does not exist. So what I'll do in here is again do a control 1 or command 1. And I would say create constructor GameRunner passing a Mario game. Let's do that. Let's see what would happen if I choose create constructor GameRunner Mario game. You should see a constructor created in here. I'll remove this line of code which is present in here, control D or command D, and now I can write the code for the constructor in here. Over here, we want to create a GameRunner with the Mario game. And therefore, what I would do is I would create a member variable. And therefore, what I would do is to create a member variable to store the game in the GameRunner class. So I'll say private Mario game. And as usual in the constructor, I would say this.game. We are setting the value to the member variable. What should be the value? The game which is passed in. So this.game is equal to game. There is just one compilation error which is remaining. That's runner.run method. We don't have a run method in the GameRunner class. Let's go ahead and fix that right now. Command 1 or control 1, create method run in the type GameRunner. So in GameRunner, we would want to be able to run the game class. Now, what do we want to do in the run method? We want to run the Mario game. Let's open the Mario game. Over here, whenever the user presses a button, we would want to do some actions. Let's keep it simple and let's assume that there are 4 buttons in here. Up, down, left and right. And therefore, what we'll do is we'll create similar methods in the Mario game. So I'll create a method in here, public void up. And for now, let's keep things simple and let's do a sysout. So sysout is system.out.println. If you type in sysout and press control space or command space, you can expand it and it would expand to system.out.println. And I would want to print up in here. So when user presses the up button on the gaming console, the Mario game prints up to the console. Now let's go ahead and add in the other things in here. So down method, up and down. And you want to also create a couple more. Left and right. Left and right. I'll add a right in here as well. So we are creating a Mario game with all the definitions of what should happen when you click the up button, down button, left button, and the right button. And in the GameRunner class, whenever you're playing the game, you might press different buttons. So I'll say game.up, game.down, game.left, and game.right. Now let's save this and let's go ahead and run this specific application. So I'll do a right click, run as Java application. Let's see what would happen. You'd see up, down, left, and right being printed. You can go to the Mario game and you can change what's happening, right? So instead of up, let's say when somebody is clicking up button, you'd want Mario to jump. When he's clicking the down button, you'd want Mario to go down into a hole. You can write logic for it in here. And when he presses left, you might want him to stop. When he goes right, you might want him to accelerate. So you can define it in here and the GameRunner can run that for you. So if I run the Spring Boot application, now if I go back to the Learn Spring Framework application, right click, run as Java application. Now you'd see jump down into a hole, stop and accelerate printed. Until now, we created a GameRunner class and a Mario class. And I would say that this is tightly coupled code. Why am I saying this is tightly coupled code? Let's create the Super Contra class in the next step and see why this is tightly coupled. I'll see you in the next step.